Welcome back to even more Fire Emblem Heroes content. Thank you for clicking on the video. I appreciate you. Before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe because I checked the analytics for one of my previous videos, and you know how YouTubers will do that where they're like only like 30% of the people who watched my video are subscribed. What's up with that? And then they complain and you get annoyed. Literally 96% of the people who watched the CYL3 video are not subscribed, so please consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. Anyway, this is the top X small changes I want to see in Fire Emblem Heroes, because I've played this game a lot since launch, basically every day. You kind of have to play every day to get all the rewards, right? That's how it works. I've played this game a lot, and I've just noticed several things that irritate me. They kind of range from things that are just irritating to things that they should genuinely actually fix, so it's not all completely trivial. I'm not just complaining for the sake of it. We're going to start with a really easy one. I want them to lower the requirements for the 10th Stratum monthly quests. So every month we get these new quests where we have to beat the 10th Trading Tower Stratum 15 times with each type of team. So 15 times with Cavalry, 15 times with Flyers. You get the idea. And it is just so time consuming. And if you're like me, you feel obligated to do it anyway, even though it is so time consuming. What I don't get about it is if you're spending so much time going through so much effort to get so few orbs, then naturally you're going to start thinking that they're more valuable. And if you're thinking the orbs are really valuable, then you're less likely to summon. So it's just, it's not even good for them, because why would I summon? Why would I do an impulse summon when I am thinking, well, I did just spend 45 minutes getting these 5 orbs from Training Tower quests, so maybe I shouldn't do this impulse summon and get like a 3-star Bartra. That would be a huge waste. So yeah, these quests are awful, they take way too much time, they're bad for the game. Just get rid of them or lower the requirements to 5 or something instead of 15. Next, we're actually going to take a look at allegiance battles. This one is kind of hard to shorten to one sentence, so I'm just going to say it all at once. Remind people that they need to update their lead unit in AB, because it doesn't update automatically and people don't realize that, or they've just forgotten. So yeah, the only place on this screen where it says, you know, send your unit is right down here, sent proxy. AB is special. AB is the only mode where like you set and forget your unit that you're sending to your friends, whereas usually it just uses your lead unit in this first team slot here. And they actually fixed this recently to where as long as you lock this team, then this unit will always be the same with their skills. So that was a nice change, but yeah, so you can consider this a PSA. If your proxy unit in AB has new skills now, you need to resend them. I think ways they could fix this, I think it would be fairly easy to fix it. I think you could just like put an icon of your sent unit down here somewhere. You know, it could say like current proxy unit, and it just shows who you're sending right now. That way people are constantly reminded, you know, oh, that's my lead unit, they have new skills now, I should update it real quick. It's a small thing, but it makes a difference, because if you're scrolling through your friends list and you're seeing these cool units you want to use, then you go to your AB and they're not listed here, then you're like, oh, well, I guess I can't use them then. The next small change also involves allegiance battles. I bet you didn't expect us to talk about AB for like 5 minutes, but yeah, here we are. Number 3, please remove or adjust the synergy bonus in AB. So what's going on here is every week that you play AB, you get a synergy point, and it's additive across every week. So I've played AB 91 times, so I have a synergy bonus of 91 points. And so every week when I play, that gets added to my final score. You can see it there. It actually breaks it down. The problem with that is, it kind of speaks for itself. If you miss one week, then you're just at a 1 point disadvantage compared to everybody else who did not miss that week. And if you're a new player, you're just screwed, I guess, right? Because there's no way to get caught up on this. You're just screwed. This one actually seems really egregious. I'm surprised they haven't addressed it at all, because they've addressed a similar issue in AR, where new players are just at a disadvantage with their fortress levels, and they actually addressed that. Like, you can go in there in the lower tiers, and they give you stat buffs now. But they did no such change in AB, which I think is curious. It could be that they have forgotten that AB is in the game. That is entirely possible. So this one seems especially egregious. Just get rid of the synergy bonus, or a more likely scenario would be maybe they max it out at 10. But yeah, this one's pretty bad. They gotta fix this one. It could also just be that since I've missed AB once or twice, I'm just salty that, maybe I'd be able to get top 1000 more frequently if it weren't for those 2 missing points. Next, I want them to shorten the level up animation, because it's always been slow. It's been slow since the start of the game. They've never sped it up in any way. It just irritates me. And the thing is, if you just watch one level up animation, I'll put it up on screen. If you just watch it once, it doesn't seem that bad. And you could argue they've given us other ways to speed up the leveling up process. When the game first came out, it kind of made sense that leveling up took a long time because everybody was just getting their level 40 units for the first time. But now you can use the training maps, and you can use this menu here where you can level up somebody. Yeah, usually when I level up units, I just come into this menu and I get them to 30 or 35 first, and then I do the rest manually, just because it saves so much time. Because otherwise, you would have to watch the level up animation 30 times. So if that was the extent of it, I probably wouldn't have bothered including this on the video, because like I said, you can just speed it up using the level up menu. The problem is frickin' holoforms. In holoforms, if you max out all your characters so you can finish all the levels, which you will probably have to do just to beat it, most people will have to max level all their characters, you have to watch the level up animation about 160 times, which is really annoying. I know it's over the course of several days, but still. Plus, a lot of people like to kind of marathon holoforms all at once, just because it is a fun game mode. It's just too bad that the gameplay gets brought to a shrieking halt every time you get to a level up. I know the level ups were like that in the first place in Heroes, because it's consistent with the mainline games. In the mainline games, you get a level up, everything stops, the character comes on screen, you see their gains. It makes sense in the mainline games, because in those games, every level up is special, because the gains are not fixed. It's randomized, so it's inherently more interesting because you want to see what gains they get. In FEH, all the level ups are fixed, so there's really no reason to stop the gameplay and make us watch what stats they get. So, specifically in holoforms, just speed up the level up animation, or make it an option to just skip it, honestly. I don't think anybody really wants to watch it for the sake of immersion. It just makes everything take longer. Number 5, I think. Do something about this. I can't point to it with my cursor because you can't see it, but please do something about this red stamp on this event screen. It's completely useless. It communicates no information whatsoever. Literally, as long as there is any event active in here, then this stamp is here. It doesn't differentiate which event. It doesn't even differentiate whether or not you have rewards left to get. It is completely useless, and it has bothered me for years that it's here. What I would really like them to do is just have more useful notifications, I guess, more useful stamps. Like, if I haven't done my Mjolnir Strike run yet, then maybe put like an MS next to the events icon, or put like a Thor icon there just to remind me. I think more useful reminders for the events would actually help a lot. I would be much less likely to miss out, you know, on my Mjolnir Strike run or whatever else. Maybe if I haven't gotten like the daily orbs and forging bonds yet, you could mark that somehow, just more specifically. I guess the consequence of that is that maybe you'd end up with like a bunch of different stamps just surrounding the events portal, but I still feel like that'd be preferable to just perpetually having this one red exclamation point here that doesn't mean anything. So this next one actually was not on the list initially. It was actually something I just saw on Reddit while I was, you know, kind of in the week leading up to this recording session. So I'm gonna throw it in because this person makes an excellent point that I would have forgotten about. They should reduce the cost for the old weapon refines. So all the new weapon refines, right? They all cost 200 Divine Dew to upgrade those weapons, which is fine, I guess. But if you want to invest in an old character like Soren, maybe you would want to get his weapon refine, but that also still costs 200 Divine Dew, even though his weapon refine is awful in comparison to the new weapon refines. Like, clearly, those are not equivalent values. Like, Soren's weapon refine is, like, literally 10 times worse than Leg-Aaron's or Finn's. So I don't know what they should reduce it to. I don't know how they should decide where the cutoff is. I don't know. All I know is this is an issue, and it actually is worth addressing, I think, because like a recent example was I was actually thinking of investing in a 4-star plus 10 Merrick because thanks to FEH Pass I got, you know, my freebie 5-star, so I was able to inherit Excalibur onto him. But then I was like, okay, now all I have to do is refine him and give him probably Dark Excalibur. But that would cost 350 Divine Dew in total, because it costs 150 just to get Dark Excalibur, and then 200 more to refine it. And it's like, I don't want to spend 350 Divine Dew on a character I'm just going to use in Arena Assault sometimes. So, I think if they adjusted the cost of refining old weapons, it would encourage people to actually build those characters. I'm actually recording this part of the video on a different day. This video ended up taking a while to make, which is weird. Anyway, next change that I want to see. I want the Edit Teams menu to display more units, especially, like just make it an option. I'm just thinking especially of like the people who have larger screens, like an iPad or whatever. Like, I think they would appreciate it if they could scroll through their barracks and not have to scroll this much just to see all their characters, you know? Like, by default it displays like 25 characters or 20 characters. Yeah, 20 characters at once, which is okay, but then you remember, like, I, for example, have 800 units, so yeah, I think especially the people that have invested a lot of time into their units, I think they would appreciate being able to see more of their units at once, and I think it would potentially make it easier just to navigate the menu in general. I say potentially because if you're playing on a small screen, then it would make it harder because the icons would be smaller, I would think. So, yeah. Just make it an option. That would be nice. I don't know how many I want displayed at once, maybe like 40? I don't know. Okay, next up, number 8. We gotta do something about these Arena Assault items, because, for one, grinding Arena Assault items is just really... It's inconvenient, but admittedly it is, like, trivially easy. All you have to do is go into Arena Assault with one character. Here, I'll actually I'll demonstrate it just in case you haven't seen it before. So you go into Arena Assault with one character. You choose... Nope, not that one. Nope. No. No. Can I get a green unit? God. No. Okay, I think he can do this one. Yeah, so you want to go into Arena Assault with one unit in your team, preferably somebody who you can win with, so someone like Alphonse. Perfect. And then from here on, as long as you keep choosing the beginner teams, you can just keep going in with full teams, and they'll have one unit. So you can fix your team so you can kill them really easily. And if you get all the way to the end of Arena Assault doing that, then you get your 3 Arena Assault items. So it is trivially easy to do that, but it's still inconvenient. And in practice, I never feel like doing it. That's why I don't have any pressure charms or lightning charms or dancer's veils. So give us a way to grind, just a different way to grind Arena Assault items would be great. Make them like quest rewards or something. I don't know. Additionally, also on the note of Arena Assault items, since nobody ever talks or thinks about them, some of them are just not that good. So I guess it's probably too late to do something about that, because now they're implemented in resonant battles and they're known quantities in that mode. So yeah, I guess it's a little too late to really buff any of these, but maybe one thing they could do is just add more Arena Assault items just to have better variety. Because we have a bunch of new statuses now, like isolation, like an item that just inflicts isolation on the other team would be super useful in Arena Assault. So there we go. If I had to boil this point down to one request, it's I guess add more Arena Assault items. Speaking of very specific requests for features, so right now, really the only place where you can see what all is expiring, like the closest thing we have to that is this quests and missions tab, where you can kind of tab through and see when everything is expiring. You can see if it's going to expire today or like a couple days from now. You can scroll through and see what is going to be due in terms of rewards and quests. What I want is just a more comprehensive list of everything expiring. So not just quests, like if you haven't done your rival domains runs yet and you haven't gotten these rewards, I want that listed there too. If you haven't gotten like your daily orbs for forging bonds or holoforms, you could put that in there too. Like every timed reward that is going to expire, I want on the list. Even you could even put like your daily ether raids run in there to make sure you don't waste ether. I will admit this is a very specific idea for a feature, so I don't expect them to do it at all, but maybe a compromise. I don't know, just kind of try and build it into the quests and missions tab, and maybe give us a way to resort these quests so that we can just see which ones are expiring today. I think that's a more reasonable request, because right now the only way you can see what's going to expire soon is you have to tab through all of these. So, I'm willing to negotiate. I will settle for a different way to sort quests, because right now it's pretty inconvenient to try and figure out when everything is due. Before we get to our grand finale, I want to mention real quick, in my previous video, I actually talked about the friends list, and I had an idea for a small change I wanted to that as well. So instead of recapping it here, I'm just gonna suggest you watch that video instead. You can skip to the part where I talk about the friends list if you want, or you can watch the whole thing, whatever you feel like doing. And now, for this last one, our grand finale. Honestly, I was debating if I should even include this because it is especially trivial, but there is a fun little bit of trivia in there that I can talk about, so I thought it would be interesting if nothing else. Alright, here goes. I would like them to change the name of Legendary Lilina's weapon. So, definitely the most specific request on here. I don't have I don't even have Lilina actually, which kind of makes this funny. Yeah, I don't even have her, so if you don't know, her weapon is called Studied Foreblaze, which by itself might not seem that offensive or noteworthy. It's just that the other legendary heroes get cooler sounding weapons. You got Flame Sigmund and Storm Sieglind. these names are nonsensical, but they at least sound cool, you know? Isn't that what matters most for a legendary tier character, right? Don't you want, like, a cooler sounding weapon? I don't know, maybe it's just me. Now, the cool bit of trivia is there's actually some reason to believe that this weapon name may have been a mistranslation, and the only reason I know any of this is because of this this forum post from Serenus Forest. So all credit goes to this person for posting this analysis. I'm just gonna boil it down. By the way, their username is Ice Dragon, which is an excellent username. I just want to really emphasize that. So thank you, Ice Dragon, for investigating this. Anyway, so what he says is the original Japanese name could be translated to something more like Hellfire Forblaze or like Karmic Fire Forblaze. And so with that being the case, a more appropriate English translation may have been just Infernal Forblaze. So if a more appropriate translation would have been Infernal Forblaze, then how did we end up with Studied Forblaze? Well, basically, in the Japanese name you have these two kanji here, and these two kanji aren't necessarily a word, it's just that in the context of fantasy RPGs and similar media, this is taken as a derivative of a different word, which means hellfire, or something like that, or karmic fire. I think karmic fire is like the literal translation, because it's alluding to like the flames of hell or whatever. Now, if you're curious how, sorry, I was supposed to explain how we got this Studied Forblaze. If you just look at the first kanji and ignore the second one, that kanji by itself means study or work. So you could infer that maybe they just looked at the first kanji and ignored the second one. That would sort of explain how they landed on this odd translation. So that's kind of what the forum post is arguing, that it may have been a mistranslation. I don't know if I'm ready to say that personally, just because I don't know Japanese, but the other thing is I actually investigated the other language translations for her weapon, and we weren't the only ones that got like a different translation. I think a couple of them translate to like Mastered Forblaze. This is all according to Google Translate, by the way. I don't know Spanish or anything, but but yeah, according to Google Translate, they're like Mastered Forblaze. I think the Italian one is like Careful Forblaze. So maybe I sent out a memo for the localization teams like, hey, just a heads up, here's how we want you to localize this. I have no idea how these things get done or how these decisions are made. I just want to give you all the information, I guess, because it is interesting, if nothing else. So yeah, out of all the changes on this list, that is definitely the most trivial and also the least likely to actually be changed. It's kind of funny because Summer Lilina is one of the only characters in the game to ever have her art changed, so it would be funny if Legendary Lilina was the only character to ever have her weapon name changed. And that's it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope if nothing else you found it interesting, maybe you learned something new, maybe you found something new to be pissed off about in Fire Emblem Heroes, whatever it was that you took away from this video. I'm glad you watched. Consider subscribing, and that's it. I'll see you later.